Tommy told you not to go after her. Tariq, what were you doing there? So I got
I was already on screen. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? My bad. I didn't know I was already on screen. Hey, happy Friday. Happy holiday weekend. I hope everybody is doing well. We have attorney, girl is at Legal Small Red Wine. She is in the background. Let me say hi to the people. Then we're going to get this party started. Hey, Lemon Kush. Hey, Layla, Amber, Tracy. Tasha K says she will not talk about it and to read the documents. So I'm here to learn. Well, we're going to go through some documents today. Y'all know how we do. Hey, Ruby, Amir. Abby said, I don't care about either Lion K or the Bernstein. Or the Bernstein Bears. I'm just here to support my girls. But thank you for the support, my love. Tracy, Miss Bynum. Hey, Brandon. Hey, Mr. Willie Brown. Hey, Diva. What's up, boo? Hey, Miss B. Cassandra. Hey, everybody. Come on in and take a seat. So, excuse me. So we went live yesterday, and we saw where Tasha K and the bishop got into it. And the bishop mentioned something about Tasha K asking about bankruptcy. Remember we said, and I said, why would Tasha K be asking his attorney about bankruptcy? Now, I still feel like his version of the story ain't exactly how things went down. Because he said something about chapter 5. And there's no thing as a chapter 5. Okay? That don't exist. Okay? But he did say something about, and then we found out, well, at least I found out last night before I went to bed. Y'all know I gave y'all a quick little drop. That Tasha K did file for bankruptcy. So this is going to be interesting. Simone, you ready? All right. Y'all know how we do this. My girl Simone. Girl is that.
Hi, guys.
Hey. Now we are streaming from both platforms. So if you are here from Girl Is That Legal, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Now.
Yeah, I'm trying to monetize, y'all. Yeah, I'm trying to monetize, so I need all the viewing minutes I can get. Thank you, guys.
You don't have your watch time hours yet?
No, I have my subscribers are almost at 3,000, but no, girl, that's what I get. I stop and I start and yeah.
I got to get that up. Well, we're gonna get get monetized.
Yeah, in the most recent year, I haven't met that threshold. Like I met it over the times, But when I did, I didn't apply for it then. So there we go.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get you monetized, honey. We're gonna get you
Thank you,
monetized.
boo.
So as always, before we get into the things, for those who do not know, this is attorney Simone Redwine. We met Simone via Ready to Love, but her and her fiance, they have their channel Ages and Stages over there, and she also has her channel Girl Is That Legal, where she discusses legal matters, but she puts a little twist on it. Y'all know Simone puts a little twist on it, so she has over there, what do you call it where you do the background checks? What's it called?
Yes, I call it on the record. Because literally, so once a week, I give someone a background check into the person of their choice. So if you're interested, either if you got, it could be a current man you're dating, it could be an ex, it could be your sister boyfriend, whomever. There's someone you're interested in that you would like to have their background check. On my YouTube channel, which is Girl Is That Legal, I have a free form. Complete the form and I can select you. You are allowed to come on and be anonymous. So far, each of my guests have been anonymous because the tea is piping hot. I then do a background check into that person. I don't give their name. So they get to be anonymous too. But at the end of the show, I give you all the records that I found. Girl, I'm talking, it was a cute young lady in her 30s dating this guy in his 60s. And he whined and dined and did all this stuff. And she was like, something about it just isn't sitting well. Come to find out, this man wasn't who he said he was. And he has a really big upcoming trial for aggravated assault where he stabbed some hooker at a Hampton Inn. Oh, it was,
What?
it was something. So yes,
Hampton
definitely. That's what I said. I said, what are you doing at a Hampton Inn if you own this $1 million home, which is in foreclosure?
Wow.
He picked the wrong one.
So y'all make sure, if nothing, if nothing else, you listen. It'd be some juicy stories. I listened to a few of them, honey. But I missed that one. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back over there and check that. All right. So we have a couple of stories that we want to get into today. We see that Kory and Kim Biermann, which for the most part, we really don't care that much about either one of them. I'm being honest for myself, but because it is becoming a very ugly divorce, I just wanted to maybe discuss some of the legal thought process and strategies of what they got going on over there, and then we are going to get into this Tasha K bankruptcy, which I think most of us saw coming. It was just a matter of time, I guess. So let's start with Kim and Kory and go on to get them out the way. Now, I know that a lot of legal documents aren't readily available.
Just yet.
But we can only, I guess, about what was being put out there. So let's start at the beginning now. A couple of months ago, we did a video where we went through the foreclosure documents and you broke down what was going on with the house, right? Remember we had, and that's what you told us. You were like, look, you were one of the first people that I saw that was like, look, even if the foreclosure goes through, she doesn't have to get out of the house because in the state of Georgia, there's a time period where they have to allow her to try to remedy the situation. And because it was the second mortgage and not her primary mortgage, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yes. So we knew, at least those of us over here, we knew that that's why she was bragging about she ain't going nowhere and blah, 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 blah. Now, they also saved at the last minute. I guess a guardian angel swooped in and took care of it for her. But that let us know
that the update on that.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so the update on that is it's alleged that the person that swooped in and saved the day is whoever owns the first mortgage. So that would make a lot of sense because you have to satisfy both to own it free and clear. So if it has equity, it would make sense for the first mortgage owner, because I think now that house is worth like $3 million. So if she owed $300,000, right? So the person who's owed like $1 million left went and said, "Let me go ahead and get this $300 second mortgage." Okay, because now that person has the ability to foreclose and sell it, get 1.3 million on a $3 million house and be Gucci. But this is the
Now
time to
that
scoop
makes
that house up. Yep. So it's alleged that
that
it's
makes a
that
lot
person
of
who did
sense.
it. Mm-hmm.
That makes a
Mm-hmm.
lot of sense. Okay, that's good business. That makes sense because everybody was trying to say it was Big Papa and all that. The Big Papa ain't thinking about her. Big Papa
He
is not
is
thinking
not
about
at
her.
all. But I will tell you, anybody who's looking for homes, baby, my mom is one of the best realtors in the world, in America, in wherever. And I always remember when each time I went to go buy my property, she said, "Oh, okay. Let's hope they're going through a divorce." I'd be like, "Mama, what you talking about?" Because when people are in the middle of a divorce, you can get the best bargain for that property because on both sides, they just want to be done with it and they don't want their credit screwed up. So, one piece of advice is if you're ever looking for a home, do a background check on the owners. So, as a realtor, my mom always does a background check on whoever is selling the property and uses that to negotiate. Because when you see a divorce, baby, you can usually get it for pennies less than what they're asking for because the two of them are trying to just get the hell away from each other.
Well, I'm here to testify to that. That is how I bought my house. My house was a divorce, and I got it as a short sale. And I walked into my house with equity. I walked into my house because of what the price I got for my house. I walked into it with equity. Yeah, so I can testify that that is a great way to make it happen because yeah, they just wanted to get rid of the house, and
Absolutely.
they were behind on like the homeowners and stuff like that, but it wasn't really a lot of wear and tear. It was basically just like stuff they hadn't done, like cleaning the carpets and painting the walls and
Yep.
like a ceiling fan was broken. It wasn't any major work that needed to be done on the house. So yeah, I'm testify that absolutely is true. That's what happened with me.
Oh,
So
and I haven't shared. One more thing I want to say real quick. I forgot to share. I am now a licensed private investigator in addition to being an attorney. So if you need somebody searched anywhere in America, you can call my office and you can also call me and I can give you a quote to search wherever you want. I've helped people get social security numbers for their baby daddies and locate where they work at. I got y'all.
yeah, I actually knew that. I didn't know if you had started telling people because you told me. You was like, I ain't saying nothing yet. So I ain't know. I ain't want to say nothing, but yeah, I knew.
Oh, thank
So
you.
listen. So for those of you who've been watching Simone's investigative skills, she is now using her powers for good. Okay,
That's a great way to
and that is
describe
her
it.
number up there. Right, and that is her number up there to get in contact with her. Y'all catch 855 for Simone. Okay, and also, remember, if you guys this is your first time here, remember that Simone she practices primarily out of Texas, but if you're in another state, can she can still help you, and she can still help you. I don't know the legal term for it. She gonna tell you in a minute,
Yes,
but she can still help
absolutely.
you. What's the legal term for
At
it?
Pro Hog Vice, I have co-counsel relationships or also teams of attorneys where we pair it, and it doesn't cost you any more money. You just get a larger team, a more responsive team than if you were doing it on your own or elsewhere. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So listen. So y'all keep it all in mind. Y'all get that phone number. It's there on the screen. So even if you forget the number, you ain't write it down. Just go back to this video and it's right there, honey. So let's talk
There we
about
go.
Kim and Croy. So we started with foreclosure. Now,
Yes.
what? Maybe about a month ago now, we saw that they had. Thank you, my flowers. My flower said she subbed and she's giving watch hours. Thank you.
Thank
Um,
you.
she said that we saw that they ran down to the courthouse and they did this. Um, they raced to the courthouse. I think they filed within an hour of each other. Now, for those of us who don't know, why? Because we saw that Drew and Ralph did the exact same thing. Why is that
Yeah.
important?
Okay. So a lot of times it's just ego. However, some of the time, some people feel, and some attorneys as well feel, that the person who files first, it is true. The plaintiff gets to share their side of the story first. If you're going to trial, the plaintiff presents their evidence first, then secondly, the defendant presents theirs. And some people feel that the judge kind of receives the plaintiff's story as the truth first, and that the defendant's version is then is given second glance. But overall, here, especially when you're dealing with reality people, it's ego. That's all.
So there's no legal advantage to being the first one to file. There's no, you know what I mean?
No, aside from you telling your story in a trial first, that would be it. But most divorces don't go to trial, especially not with celebrities. So by and large, I don't feel that in a divorce situation that filing first gives you that much more of an advantage. However, it does allow, it puts you on the offense as opposed to the defense. So I will say though, if it's a situation like with a man who wants custody or visitation of his children, and that would be the one situation where it looks better for that man to file first. So not a divorce, but just, hey, I'm filing because she's not consistent. She doesn't let me see my child, blah, blah, blah. Then that man gets to tell his story first. So I do feel like in that family law situation, there's a difference there. But with a divorce, I don't see. There's not much difference.
Okay. Now, let me back up a little bit because I did miss the part of that. Thank you for bringing that up. I missed the part. We found out the same day that we found out about the divorce, like the news hit that they owed the IRS $1.1 million in back taxes in the state of Georgia, like $15,000. And then literally a couple of hours later, we found out that they filed for divorce. Now, for us, it was new information to us, but it clearly wasn't new information to them. It was that strategic that the day that information dropped publicly, that they ran to the courthouse to file for this divorce.
Now, that may have happened because I'll say, remember when I pulled the information on their liens on their house and stuff like that? When was that? A year ago? When I pulled that,
it was in the fall. It was like October.
Yeah, in the fall. There was no tax lien at that time. So that tax lien has come subsequently. So that, for whoever the non-guilty party, that probably was their last straw, where they were already where it sounds like Kory was already about sick of her gambling habit, which I want to get into that because Miss Thang thought that was funny. It's not funny no more. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. So that was probably his last show, because it very much seems like he really wanted to keep his family together, and he really tolerated her strangeness and all of her low quality wigs for quite a while.
Why are you such a shade?
They were synthetic for years, guys. They were synthetic for years. I was like, who granny are you selling that to? Because I want to represent her in a consumer fraud case because you're doing it dirty.
Child. Now, KK, my girl KK in the chat, who she says I'm a witness to her gambling. Now, I'm not doxing KK. She has let us know that she lives in Las Vegas. That she has seen Kim in Vegas. I'm not gonna say where KK works or anything like that, but I'm assuming that she has seen her in the casinos. Like I said, I'm not doxing her, y'all. KK told her to live in Vegas. So she said she could testify to it, honey. Okay. So.
Oh no, I was gonna say there was an episode on her show, and I guess she thought it was funny or cute. It was included, where they were taking a family road trip somewhere, and like a crack fiend, she said, "No, I got to get out the car. We got to stop at the gas station. But instead of scratching and looking for a crack rock, she went inside for a scratch off. Okay. Went inside and said, I need 30 of these, 16 of these. When they added it all up, it came to $1,200 worth of scratch off. And she's in the car like a crack fiend, scratching them all off. And the kids are like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. And Kory was like, but this was back when like they still had money and stuff. So I'm just saying, if you can't do a 3.5 hour car trip without stopping to gamble on a god darn scratch off, I can just envision how you behave in Vegas.
She said, KK said she would regularly get at least 2 butler served suites at my job. So when she was
Wow.
in Vegas, she would have at least 2 suites. And you know, like there's layers to having a suite, honey. You got a butler served suite. That's a whole nother layer to that. Whole other layer to that,
Ah,
child. Wow. I
bless
remember
her.
seeing her with them stacks and stacks of scratch offs, child. So the minute for us bloggers and stuff like that, the minute we saw those two things combined, we were like, okay, we see this. Now, since then, it has been a series of back and forth between the two of them. When Kim filed, she asked for full custody of the kids, and she asked for child support, and I'm gonna say she might even ask for
Not
money.
gonna
I
get
don't
it. Not gonna get it. No, no, no. I don't think so. I don't think so. Not for this. No. I think,
know. So
and we
she
all
said
know.
that.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. So she made the accusation that Croy smokes weed and she's worried about the welfare it is because he smokes in front of the kids and he smokes the weed, blah, and she wants him to submit to a drug test. Now, here's the reality of the situation. This is my 2 cents. He probably does smoke weed, but she smokes cigarettes. She's a chain smoker, and I don't mean no harm, but I don't see where one is when we talk about secondhand smoke and this, that, and the other. And then he countersued or whatever, I don't gonna say countersued, but he put information out saying that he wants her to submit to a mental evaluation because she's addicted to gambling, and that's the reason why they're in the financial situation that they're in. And he even released their bank account, which I didn't show any of those records, but it's on Radar Online. If y'all want to go find it, it's out there. But if you look at it, there is a lot of crypto coin, like crypto charges, where she's buying like that crypto coin. And I'm gonna tell you what I know. A lot of online gambling um, places, they use the crypto coin, because if you live in a state where gambling is not legal, where online betting is not legal, you can still log into one of those websites and crypto coin, and you can gamble with the crypto coin. I'm telling you because I know, because it
Makes
wasn't
sense.
legal in Maryland until this year, and I was online gambling before this year. I'm telling you what I know. Okay, I'm telling you what. Don't nobody say, "Was really be how you know that?" I'm telling you because I know.
Absolutely. And I
Go
want to
ahead.
say too, and there's a little bit of a lag between here, so I'm gonna speak and I'm gonna pause. But I think people, especially people with the gambling addiction, they really underestimate how bad it is and how much it impacts your family. But a good judge doesn't. Because if you have addictive personality, you have that. And more than likely, where you see a gambling addiction, where you're in that casino overnight, all those hours like that, it comes with the cocaine. Yeah. The cocaine. I'm in love with the cocoa. Okay, they go together, because what you have to take something to be able to stay up all night like that. But also, when people, if you don't treat the one addiction, you replace it with another. There is no way she can be a good parent doing that. And the truth of the matter is, if in this condition he is to pay her child support, the child support is going straight to the casino. So it would be in the best interest of the children for them to be with Croy. Her challenge is going to be, she's not going to be reliable enough to even work enough to pay child support. That's why she's got to sell wigs and do these other things. So more than likely, I'll say this, I would not be surprised for the court to grant it the custody of the children to him. And that was probably likely why he wanted to beat her to the courthouse, because sometimes when it's a man seeking custody, if they get there first and they say the reason I want it is because I have a true mental health concern. That's kind of the only time, I won't say the only, but that's genuinely when the court will take him seriously and really give it a strong look, because it's kind of presumed that when men ask, it's not because they really want the kids. It's because they don't want to have to pay for the kids to the woman.
Yeah, and somebody said, how old are the kids? The three kids that they have together are less than 15. I'm not sure the exact age,
Yeah.
but she didn't have the kids after they were married, or I think she might have had the first kid before they got married, and then she had the twins afterwards. But either way, they're minors. Now her daughters are legal; they're older, but the three kids are minor.
Right.
Excuse me, are minor. Damn it, minors. Why I can't talk? I will say this. I think he won the war. I think he filed first, technically. I think his paperwork went in first, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I do think that's very valid. When somebody has an addiction, like you said, whether it's a gambling addiction or substance or alcohol, whatever, you're absolutely correct. It does take away and it eats it. Right. I think that's a valid argument that an attorney can make to a judge to say, listen, how do we know where the money's going? She has a gambling addiction. We have no guarantee that the money is going where the money is supposed to go. And the reality is, like, she had her company Cashmere, and she was like, my company is $1 million company. It probably was $1 million company when you were on TV, because we have short memories, y'all. We have very short memories. When we have a favorite on a TV show, on a reality show, whatever, and they're pushing a product, a lot of times we buy to be loyal to them, or we buy because we want to say, oh, I bought this from so-and-so. Like me, I have Karen Huger's candle, and listen, it smells good and all of that. But the reality is, I would have never paid the amount of money, and I love candles. I would have never spent the money that I spent on this candle had it not been, oh, Karen Huger put her name on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the minute she was no longer on TV, that company probably plummeted in sales, because it's sort of an out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. Now, I'm sure she's got loyal customers, but ultimately, once we no longer see them on our screens every day, unless you have a company like a Bethany Frankel, where she turned it into a whole, she absolutely turned it into a whole thing. Yeah,
yes.
The skinny brand, or the twins are not okay. Thank you. Or Candy with her bedroom candy, which will be able to survive outside of Housewives. But unless it's something like that, it's a beauty company. Like, those come a dime a dozen,
Absolutely. Also, I saw Lil Baby 245. She made a comment that I completely understand what she was saying. She could see Kroy getting custody, but what she also sees with him is that he's a sorry man. He hasn't tried to get a job since retiring from the NFL. Now, I'll say this: my brother-in-law used to be in the NFL and stuff like that. What happens a lot of times is when they get out, the only time you know what they're doing, or if they're getting a job, right, is if it's a public job. And certainly with the white boys, they often will get employed in the corporate gigs you're just not going to hear about. So I haven't read the papers,
Right.
so I don't know what Kroy does, but I would not be surprised if Kroy has a $200,000 job, like at an oil company, where maybe he's a oil man, or a land man, or does one of these like corporate kind of gigs that it's not sexy to put on social media. You wouldn't find out about it one way or the other, but he got it from another Caucasian person who wants to say, I love Kroy. I was a Kroy fan, and I now have him working for me. So I just say that to say Kroy doesn't have employment. Go ahead. No.
I have a delay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. But that's all I was going to say. I don't think it's fair for us to say he hasn't tried to find a job, because we don't know that. We know he doesn't have a public job. Yeah.
Correct. A public job. Yeah. Like my brother-in-law, he runs a Chick-fil-A. You wouldn't know it unless you go to literally people go into the Chick-fil-A in the Galleria Mall, which is what he owns with my sister. And they're like, I'm sure there are some people like, oh my gosh, Kevin, he works at Chick-fil-A now. He used to be in the NFL. He owns it. You know what I'm saying? But that's not, what most people would know. But going back to Miss Kim, what's interesting too is if Kroy wins, Kim really loses now. And here's why. Someone mentioned the NFL pension. Now, it's important to note, I covered this week on my background check episode on Wednesday. It was a a woman who had dated a guy who was retired from the NBA. He had earned $42 million in his career, played over 10 years, and his last 5 years had a $6.2 million contract. And she has been on welfare for over 10 years now because he no longer supports the child and only paid child support for 1 year of the child's life, where he was paying approximately $12,000 a month. Well, what one of the things I uncovered, make sure you tune in, is what people, even though they have an NFL or NBA pension, you can't touch it until you're much older. Now, on Kroy's side, the NFL pension, you can't get it till you're 55. So it just continues to accrue. But what might happen, what would likely happen if he's not able to prove her addiction, is he will still have to split it with her. And I can guarantee Miss Thing ain't got no retirement. Kim ain't got no retirement. First of all, Kim, I was about to say smoked it away, but it's not crack. She probably gambled away any form of retirement that she had, because that's what gamblers do. Because otherwise, she would have tapped into that retirement to prevent the foreclosure. She didn't move.
Right.
She didn't move.
No.
So she is likely relying on Kroy's. But if Kroy wins, he won't have to split it with her. That's huge. That's real big.
Yeah.
Poor Kroy.
That's big. And I mean, I know there's a lot of parameters that protect their pension, because remember, O.J. Simpson, that's all that allegedly he's been living off of, because they could not touch his pension. They could not touch his NFL pension.
But that's not the same for a divorce, baby. Divorce or child support.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
So it's not the same. And this is what was kind of complicated that we covered, is that when you start collecting your pension, you have not paid off your child support, it's fair game. It is fair game because that is your income. So that's why it's really important, even if you're not getting child support and it's just like stacking up, right? Let it stack up, because when old boy, and accrue interest, because when old boy starts getting ready to touch his retirement, well, guess who's touching it too? Us, your baby, your family. And for a divorce, when you have a pension, what happens is you get an order called a quadro. And if the judge says you got to share and split that pension, then the judge signs an order. It is sent to the pension company, and 50% of that pension, or that 401k, whatever it is out of that account and into yours. Now, you can't touch it either, but what it means is that man can't spend your part of that pension. So that's important to get to. Boom, 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 boom.
All right.
But I also wanted to mention real quick, though, remember Kim's company? Now, Kim thought she was slick not getting a prenup. It's my understanding that there's no prenup. I could be incorrect. But if, in fact, there was no prenup, now it's going to bite Kim in her bottom. Because now Kroy ain't in the league no more. But Kim allegedly has this, as she said, multi-million-dollar company. Well, guess what? The majority of what you've done with that company, including adding another LLC, blah, 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 all those things happen during the marriage. So Kroy is entitled to half of the value of that company. So Miss Thing might want to shut up talking about, I got this $1 million company. Because one of two things are going to happen. Either you have to give him half of that company, or if you're claiming that it's worth all of this, but you had it before the marriage, they are going to calculate what you could and should be earning from that company and say the child support you got to pay to Kroy is based on what you said your company was worth. So get off that crack rock. Quit gambling and cut that man his money to take care of your kids. Sorry. There wasn't one.
Okay. Right. So I know we don't have the documents in front of us, so I don't want to ask you to make a prediction based on, but in your experience of seeing this back and forth, how nasty do you think this is going to get?
Oh, when you're dealing with an addict, it's going to get really, really bad, because what's going to happen is this is the first, but this can also be great for her personally, because you got to hit rock bottom before you realize how bad your life has become. And that man really loved her. So what I anticipate is Kim is going to fight tooth and nail, but I anticipate Kim is going to run out of money to pay her lawyer. Then it's really going to get bad because she's either going to have to give up and give him what he wants, or she gonna have to go find her new big papa or somebody. And I know she is not beneath turning a trick or two for getting what she wants. Okay, so she's probably gonna be out here strolling with somebody's granddaddy, Paul. Yeah. No, but I feel bad I feel terrible for the kids. But I mean, that gambling, ooh, that's the tough. It's one thing when it's just like, medicinal, that's a different kind of addiction. But when you are using the funds, the kids' college funds, the this, that, and the third, and she probably can't even perform and execute all of her social media engagement contracts when you're that addicted to that level. So good luck to Miss Thing.
Child, but we're gonna hold on. Listen, we will definitely keep our eyes on that. Y'all know that we're gonna keep our eyes on everything. Stay vigilant as more information. I think now, Kim, hold on. I think I just saw something a few minutes ago where Kim done said something. Child, they wearing me out already. Okay, hold on. Let me go here.
Y'all, I'm loving the comments. Keep the comments going. I feel so happy. T. Jones said, "I'm learning so much." Well, I love when people feel like they learning stuff, but they're entertained and they're having fun. So I'm having fun with y'all. Somebody said, not the way they fight, and I don't think they had a prenup. I don't believe they did either, because Kim thought she was coming up, and to be honest, she was coming up on him. Because she went from that old man with a whole wife to dealing with a young buck who played for the Atlanta Falcons. She could have never got that in her youth when she was over there lying, talking about she was 33 and she was every bit of 39 plus. Agent life spoiled.
They just playing the Instagram wars. I ain't got the energy for this. They just playing the Instagram wars where they posting memes back and forth at each other. I ain't got time for them. But it's definitely going to be a circus. And I also think that Kim is going to continue to play it up because Kim is trying to get back. She's trying to get back on Bravo. We know she is. And honestly,
I want to see her now.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. I think they will bring back Tardy for the party before they put her on Housewives. And I'm going to tell you why. For whatever reason, they have always loved Kim. I mean, I didn't even know Tardy for the party was still on yet. It was still being renewed year after year. But now she's got a hell of a storyline. And I think that Bravo knows that she already has a ready-made audience because they kept it on for a reason all those years. And if she's willing to film and talk about it, I think they would give her her own show before they would give her.
I can see that. Genius. Yeah, because the way her storyline would get kind of fluffed up under the other. Yeah, I want to see this train wreck.
Right. And her last stint on Housewives really wasn't that great. I don't think she gels with those girls. This is a whole new set of girls, and none of the Kenya ain't trying to be friends with her. Candy ain't trying to be cool with her. The only person she's cool with is Sheree, and maybe Marlo ain't gonna rock with her like that. Maybe the new girls, but I don't see the new girls even really rocking with her. So I don't think it would go well. But I do think that she has a ready-made audience for Tardy, but they would have bring back Tardy for the party. You know how shady Bravo is. They might say, it was on for. They just canceled it last year. It has been on all these years. I didn't even know.
Where? On the internet?
It was on Bravo. It would come on Saturday night or something. I didn't even know it was still coming on. I think it probably went on hiatus during the. I think it went on hiatus probably during the pandemic, and then they didn't. And then they didn't. Then they didn't bring it back after the hiatus, I think. But it was still on. Yeah. Wait a minute. Miss Bates says, off topic, but T.I. and Tiny lost the lawsuit allegedly She said she just received mail from Law 360. Okay.
Oh no, that would
I'll
be
pull it up
horrible. I
again.
hope not.
I know. I
I
thought
hope
they had
not.
a pretty good case. I mean, I wasn't in the courtroom, but it
Yeah,
looked
when
like
I
they
was
had a
looking
pretty
at
good
the photos and stuff, see that makes people want to go back and handle things the hood way. I'd be real
Those are
mad.
two
Yeah, I'd
hood.
call
Those are two
somebody.
hood Negroes.
You're not above it. We already know,
Yeah,
Ti.
I could see Bravo being real shady and being like, we're going to give you like a 4-part, just a 4-part series, and instead of calling it Tardy for the Party, call it Tardy for the Divorce or something. Bravo is shady. I could see them
Yeah.
maybe not renewing the show permanently, but giving her a couple of episodes to explore, her new normal and what life is like going through this and what went wrong. And like, I could see them if she's not, but she would have to be willing to talk. She would have to be willing to
Yes.
talk. And, so
And
but that
that's
would
going to
be
be a challenge, right, with her divorce. Because the truth is, if she tells her truth, she's not going to get custody. And she doesn't need custody. She needs the money custody would bring her. So she
right.
get to figure that out now. She's going to have to start turning some
Right. And her
tricks. So I hope she is doing
yeah.
her Kegels. She stays on that, cosmetic surgery bed. She's really going to have to pull together the few talents that she
Not
has.
her
She's going
Kegels.
to need to call Kris Jenner, who is the grandmother of all pimps. I mean, she's about to be what, one, two,
She
three
definitely
generations of pimping, corporate pimping to some
she
extent.
definitely is
So
that now. Listen, she is the queen bee of that now. She done figured that one out all the way. All right, so we'll keep you guys posted as information becomes available, but let's transition on into Tasha K. Now, again, you and I talked about this. I had to go back and find the video. We talked about this back in. I found it was back in August. It was like August the 22nd,
mhm.
where we talked about how she was transferring property, and we talked about her appeal and things of that nature. Now one of the things that we found, or that you found, I should say, you pulled the deed where she transferred her house. She did not sell her house, contrary to what I think people believe. She transferred the house into her daughter's name for $0.00.
Correct.
So is that
Correct.
not? Is that fraud? Is that attempt? What is that?
Sure. Okay. So under the law, there is something called a fraudulent transfer. Now, under bankruptcy law, when you fill out that bankruptcy form, it asks you about any transfers made within 120 days of your bankruptcy filing. That is because it is considered
Oh,
per se fraud if you transfer anything within 120 days, right? So I kept thinking, or a lot, I was seeing online a lot of people saying, why she hasn't just filed bankruptcy? And some people were saying, well, maybe because she can't, get it all dismissed, that. And when I thought about it, I said, oh, because she has to wait enough time so that that transfer doesn't look like exactly what it is, which is fraud. Now, so it's outside of the 120-day mark, which means it's not automatically considered fraud. However, Cardi B's attorneys and any other creditor of hers, because it's not just Cardi B who's her creditors, right? She's got a list of, it's going to be other entities too. Any other creditor can say, hold up, wait a minute. These numbers this math ain't mathing, because we know she had a house and she hasn't listed it, but she's given it to her minor child who, this dumb broad, talking about Tasha, I'm sure Tasha still deducts her on her taxes. When Tasha fills out her taxes, I bet she doesn't eliminate that one daughter she transferred the house to, talking about some, not this one. No. So it's going to be very difficult for Tasha to show it's not fraudulent to transfer your house into your child's name, and then you claim your child on your taxes for the $3,600 tax deduction. Tasha, get it together. You think you're smarter than everybody, but really you are stupider sometimes than even you realize. Sorry, let me get off my soapbox.
Wait a minute. So, wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. Wow. Now she filed Chapter 11. Can you explain for people because that's a reorganization, correct?
Um, yes, if I remember correctly, yes, that's the reorganization. So that's the one you do when you don't want to sell all of your businesses, but you basically want to say, I want to keep some stuff, but what I'm saying is I don't got it. I don't have it, as she says. So it
Right.
allows you to not have to sell everything that you own. You are allowed to keep some things. An example is Donald Trump. We all know Donald Trump filed for bankruptcy at least 8 times, but I believe it was in the double digits. And so many people have said, well, hey, how come he didn't lose Mar-a-Lago? Pay attention, stay with me. Because Mar-a-Lago is to Trump what YouTube revenue and streaming revenue are to Tasha K. In that if you can show that you have this asset that's going to enable you to pay some of your bills if you're given a form of reorganization, then a court won't necessarily take that asset from you because it's going to let you pay your bills. That's what Trump did with Mar-a-Lago. He said, this is a country club. Membership starts at 100K a person. I have over 1,000 members. This is why it shouldn't be taken. Instead, let me just reorganize my bills and I'll show you how I can use some of the Mar-a-Lago money to pay them. Yes. So that's the
Now let me ask you
reorganization.
a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, were you able to pull the bankruptcy and look at the bankruptcy?
I didn't know. I didn't get a chance to pull all of it, but I skimmed and I looked at some excerpts from online. And I did see how she
So
stated
she
that her revenue or her income was only like 3,000 a month from her online stuff.
and let me say this, in my opinion, there's no way that that's accurate. I don't I don't know I don't know if she's put her YouTube stuff in her husband's name. I don't know where that app is going because I do know this. I do know this. She was when she was live a couple of weeks ago. I did a video on it. It sort of broke down how she lost the case and what happened. One thing she did say was she said, "I don't have no job. I volunteer for Kibi Studios. I'm not employed. I volunteer my time." So she got listed at one point when she got sued. She was listed as an employee, but she's no longer. She's saying that she volunteers. So I guess that's why she's saying that she's not making any money because she's saying that she
Correct.
doesn't really work.
So I had pulled
Now
the
that's
records
that,
for Kebby
that,
Studios. So here's the deal with Kebby Studios. It is truly owned by she and her husband. Her husband's behind the scene. He produces everything and tolerates her. Um, and if you remember with the Cardi B lawsuit, the two entities that were actually sued, it was she, I believe, Kebby Studios, or three, and her husband at one point. But I think ultimately her husband was dismissed, and it was just she and Kebby Studios. So I believe what she has done is at least the YouTube stuff, it wasn't being paid to her. It was being paid to Kebby Studios and or a new entity. She could create a new entity owned just by him, right? And have the YouTube money go to them. She can do that, but it doesn't change the fact that Cardi B's attorneys are going to still say, no, that was just a transfer she did to try and avoid this debt. Furthermore, this dumb broad moved to a common law of Florida, which is a state that recognizes common law as well as community property. Sorry, I said common law, I meant community property. So even if this company is owned by your spouse, it's half yours. It's half yours. So just pay the girl the money. The bankruptcy, I believe, is going to end up walking her into another form of a lawsuit or a lien like IRS tax liens. Remember, I called it when I said that about what's the scam in Bishop Whitehead. I said he gonna go to jail. The IRS, the Fed, somebody who got him now, both of them. So the same thing is going to be happening to Tasha because Tasha is so busy hiding her money from Cardi that she's hiding it from the IRS too. There's no way you can hide it from Cardi, but not hide it from the IRS. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because like I told my people, and Simone, you know this. I mean, I'm not in your pocket, but Ages and Stages is monetized, so you understand how YouTube works from a monetization point of view. And you guys, especially when Ready to Love is swinging, y'all's views are really good over there. So you understand what I'm getting ready to say. There's no way on this side of God's green earth that Tasha K is only making $3,000 a month on YouTube. I don't care how many videos she took down. I don't care how much she puts on the app. You know, like I know how that works. I know people who have 10,000 subscribers and make more than $3,000 a month. Like, it's
Exactly.
come on now. Like, I know a lot of people don't understand because they're not on YouTube, but I'm telling y'all what I know to be a fact. So when that
Also,
story came
it's
out
her
last
only
month,
job. Right. It's her only job. There is no way she can maintain her lifestyle. She's about as stupid as these deadbeat dads who drive up to court in a Benz, wearing designer clothes, talking about, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I can only pay the minimum. There's no way because you couldn't survive on your lifestyle with the minimum. But let's not forget, Miss Thing did that whole little photo shoot when she went over to Africa and stood in front of that African bank. You don't think, I believe she is probably having her YouTube proceeds and or her Tasha K Live website proceeds go directly into her little African bank account because it does technically put it outside of the jurisdiction of American courts. But it doesn't prevent her from possibly being held in contempt and having to disclose that money. See, the law doesn't say if you're filing bankruptcy, you only have to disclose money in an American bank. Now, honey, you have to disclose all of your money, all of your money. So again,
well, there was a video when she was in Africa. I mean, I don't have a dog in this fight, so I didn't save the video. I didn't screen record it, but I saw it where she was in the back of an Uber or a taxi, and she said, I just left such and such bank, and I deposited such and such. She didn't say American dollars. She didn't use American dollars. She
yes,
used whatever currency is in that country, but it
correct.
translated to a significant amount of money US. Now whether you lied or not, it doesn't matter. If I saw the video, I know people on the other side saw the video, and I'm sure that Cardi's attorneys have a copy of that video. Now you can come back later and say you were trolling or you were lying. It doesn't matter. You said it, which is enough to trigger the conversation at the very least.
Also, what she's doing is very disrespectful to the court. And the court don't like that. They don't like that you're making a mockery of the system. Because especially when you have a large platform, that's why Cardi got punitive damages in the first place. I think she got like 2 million regular, but another 2 million was for playing in everybody's face. So she's not learning from her lessons. She is continuing, and a portion of that is because of the fact that, she was successful. But this ain't the time to play, Miss Tasha. I just went to court this week representing a client. You know how those credit card companies, they say, oh, this person hasn't paid their credit card bill, whatever. So I defend a lot of people who are in that situation. Well, when the credit card companies win or whoever, the interest rate right now, after you get a judgment, is 8% because of inflation. 8% a year on 4 million. I don't know. Somebody do that math, but I know for a fact that's somebody's salary. And upon collecting that, would never have to work again. They could just sit around Tasha K and just get that 8% on that. So my point is, while Tasha is out here playing games, finding ways to avoid the money, she absolutely would have been better off coming to Cardi B's team with a payment plan, because you can say, okay, I got a $4 million judgment. Look, all I have is 1 million and I can spread it to you over 5 years or something like that. Thank you. $320,000. Oh, honey, I have done, ooh, that's something you take your clothes off for. That's a lot of money. And that is
Okay.
just the interest. That is just the interest. Mm-mm, mm-mm-mm. I know this is getting her views, but at some point, I also feel like her husband is going to get about sick of this, because it didn't even have to come to this. But also, someone was saying, could she go to jail? She can't go to jail in America for not paying a debt. The only debt in America you can go to jail for are not paying taxes. So the only risk that she would have is if it comes out that she has been underpaying her taxes, which absolutely has to be the case, because Cardi B's people are going to do what's called discovery, and they are going to obtain Tasha K's tax returns. Tasha and her team know that. So there's no way Tasha put her true amount on her tax return and then is going to file bankruptcy. Talking about I get $3,000 a month. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm.
Child.
Mm-mm.
Because from what I
Oh,
read, and I don't have the numbers. Oh, go ahead.
no. I just I'm gonna let you finish, but I wanted to talk about her trademarks and how that can come into play. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, because I'll wrap this up. I was just saying I don't have it right in front of me, but I did read that she said she has $95 in her bank account, that she only makes about $3,000 a month, that the most expensive thing she has is her wedding ring, which she estimated at like $6,500. We know that she allegedly sold off her car. She has one car, and so she had her car note up there. I think her American Express bill, of course, her debt to Cardi B. Let me ask you this, and then I'll let you talk about the trademarks. Why didn't? Because I think I want to say it was you that told me this, or it was either you or Pam, because y'all are the two attorneys that I speak to on my channel. Why didn't she sit down once she lost and she got over the shock of losing? Why didn't she sit down with the court and come up with a reasonable payment plan? Could she have done that?
Ego. Absolutely. Everyone else does. Straight up ego. That is the exclusive reason. But it wouldn't be sitting down with the court. She would have to sit down. Her lawyers would have to sit down with Cardi B's lawyers. And I would not be surprised. See, Tasha K strikes me as like one of the world's worst clients, because she thinks she know every goddamn thing. It would not surprise me if her attorney suggested all of these things that we're talking about, because we all have sense, right? And that Tasha was like, I don't need to do that. I don't need. And here we are. So I completely agree with you. To the point where if I
Okay.
had been her lawyer, I would have to withdraw, because I have to say, this is foolish. Winning is not an option here, and I don't join losing teams. So you're going to need, I can take your money, but my reputation as a reasonable and good attorney means more to me than your little funky little check, which may or may not bounce. Girl, go on here with that. Mm-mm.
All right. So what were you going to tell us about the trademark?
Sure. Somebody asked, is discovery also forensic accounting? It is, but discovery starts with you demanding the other side provide you with things. And then you can start by, you take what they've provided, their bank information, this, that, and the third. And then you have a forensic accountant go in to confirm, is this all? Are they hiding things, etc.? And someone also asked, what about hiding money? Is that punishable by law? It's punishable in the form of contempt. She could be held in contempt of court. When you're held in contempt, even if it's a civil case, you can then go to jail for that until you give them whatever you're supposed to give. So that's also like if someone owes child support, they can be held in contempt until they make payments. Hiding the money for your civil case, though, that in itself won't make it a crime where you go to jail. Hiding the money is only an issue if you're hiding it from the IRS. But here, okay, it was smart for her, talking about the trademarks. This is also probably why reorganization was a better idea from her than just a straight up bankruptcy. Because what she and I have to relook at it again, but from what I saw, she really didn't put no value to her trademarks. Girl, you stupid. Because she's trying to act like she's an individual. Well, we all know Tasha K is a brand and a business. And if somebody put, let's say on eBay, the brand Tasha K and TashaKLive.com and all of that, you think somebody wouldn't pay 6 figures for that? And for the traffic and for the, absolutely. So if she keep fooling around, if I were Cardi B's lawyers and she doesn't have that stuff listed on the bankruptcy thing, I'd raise my hand as a creditor and say, we object, Your Honor. First of all, these documents are incomplete. Second of all, we want her trademarks. Give me Tasha K Live. Give me Tasha K the brand. I will own that trademark. And then all of that becomes Cardi B's. She couldn't even have a YouTube no more that say Tasha K. So play around if you want to, but she's completely of trying to avoid all of that by trying to act like she's an individual and not a brand. Mm-hmm.
Got you. So ultimately, in your opinion, again, I know you don't have all the information in front of you, but again, in just your legal opinion, do you feel like this bankruptcy is going to go through? You end up it out.
Ooh, I think it's gonna take a long time. I think that it will. I would be surprised if it dismisses her whole $4 million. It may help her get rid of some debt, but I don't think it's going to give her the result that she's hoping for, which is avoiding the Cardi B debt. Because really, that's the only debt she cares about. So I don't anticipate that working. I do think, though,
I think it's going to get rid of the debt. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but what it could do is, I forgot about this part, is force Cardi B's team to the table and to receive a payment plan that they would have never agreed to. Now that is what bankruptcy reorganization does force. It forces creditors to accept a payment plan that is less than what they would have ever entertained but for your bankruptcy.
Okay, so maybe she'll be paying like a piddly amount per month versus if they have been able to get a payment plan, maybe it'd have been a more significant amount.
Correct. Because it seems like at this point, if I were Cardi B's lawyers, I would entertain no payment plan because of the way that she's made a mockery out of all of this, right? So the only way to get them to the table to force them to entertain a payment plan is filing for bankruptcy reorganization. And that is because all the credit, basically she has to list all her debts, all her this, that, and the third. And then the court has to say, this is going to be the payment plan, and then effectively force Cardi B and the other creditors to take it. Somebody said, I think, Simone, you just uncovered her plan. Yeah. It forces them to take something they would have never agreed to. But the issue Tasha's going to have again is Cardi B's team is going to say, well, wait a minute, Your Honor, before you make us accept this, we need to show you this fraud. We need to show you these transfers. We need to show you these things that we think that she's doing fraudulently. And then we think you should add that back up into her assets. And lastly, I think possibly the way Cardi B can win is if her team says, okay, if the court is going to force us to accept a payment plan, well, Your Honor, we force her to sell us or give us or whatever it's going to be her trademark, her this, her that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because by her filing a Chapter 11, she's not asking for them to dismiss it, right? She's just asking to be able to reorganize it.
Correct, which means all the creditors, whoever they are, got to take less than what I owe them, and on these terms that the court is going to force them to accept. Yeah.
Girl. Girl, yeah, I do think that. I mean, I do think Tasha K consulted an attorney. I do think she did that. But here's where I feel like I don't know if, but I do think that she thinks she's the smartest person in the room. So I do think she consulted an attorney. I don't know if she did everything the attorney advised her to do, though.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. Because ain't no way a lawyer didn't tell her, take the stuff down, offer them a little bit of money, take it down, and shut the heck up. Ain't no way.
Well, she said that. Now she did say that. When she did that video a couple of weeks ago when she talked about how she lost, she did say that in hindsight, she wished she had just taken the videos down. She did say that. But the thing, and I was saying this earlier today to somebody, the biggest problem that I think, and this is my opinion, that I think that Tasha K is going to have is that Tasha K still doesn't think she was wrong.
Exactly.
So I feel like she would do it again. I feel like she would do it again because she still doesn't think she did anything wrong.
Because she makes more money now than ever, etc., etc. And so I feel like a bankruptcy judge is going to have to take all of her shenanigans together into play. Now, they don't get to take into consideration if she felt like she did anything wrong. But oftentimes, the punitive damages part, even in bankruptcy, they can't set it aside. Now, they can enforce a payment plan type of thing generally, but they can't forgive that. So again, forgiveness, good luck, sister girl. But I think all her shenanigans adding up, it's going to be real hard for her to find a bankruptcy judge that has any form of empathy or even believes her. Because there's no way. What you think she probably really makes a month? I'm guessing like $50,000 a month. Because the staff that she has alone, at least.
Listen, this is what I'm gonna say. When she only had 300-something thousand subscribers, when I say only, I don't mean only because to me, I would love to have 300. If I had 300,000 subscribers, I quit my job. But I'm saying because now that she has 1 million, I know that when she had 300,000 subscribers, she said she was making 50,000 a month. So I think we could safely damn near double that.
That's right. No, you're absolutely right. Oh, and the other thing, guys, remember, she's again filing this as though it's just little old me, little old Tasha. The problem is she did everything from her Tasha K YouTube page, from her, which is the business. So you don't get to. That's like Walmart. Doing something to its employees, like how they took all these life insurance policies out on these old people greeting you, and then they collected all the money from it, right? And then Mr. Walt, whatever his name is, Sam Walton, saying, "Oh, guys, it's just me over here. I'm filing bankruptcy. I'm the only one that can pay the verdict." No, stupid. You did it as a company, then you need to pay as a company. That's Tasha's situation, and she's not slick here.
Yeah. Now I don't that 3,000 number. They can only garnish a percentage of what you make. So that number that they came up with, where Cardi B took her $3,900 or whatever it was, that is a percentage of her YouTube earnings. That is not that. What I promise you, that's not her whole YouTube check. I promise y'all. I promise. Right. If y'all don't believe nothing else I done told you,
no, wait,
that when I tell you.
Now tell me about that. I could be incorrect.
So a couple of months. Remember, there was an article. Maybe it was like last month where they said Cardi B took Tasha K's 300. Hold on, let me see if I can find the article. Hold on.
Yeah, because I saw the one where it was a small amount, like out of her Chase account.
Yeah. See, that's what Pam is saying. In her bankruptcy, she says she only makes $3,000 a month, but she has to be doing something. It's no way.
What I'm not understanding is why she doesn't have an order to take the money directly from YouTube. And my guess would be YouTube is likely paying her LLC or something like that. That's the only thing I can think of. Or if you, I know that like if you have ads placed into your videos, the way you get paid is lower and different because expected you're getting paid from the ads. So that may be another reason why her money looks lower, because she's getting the direct money from her ad sponsors. But Cardi B's lawyers aren't dumb. We see who her ad sponsors are. So they're then going to subpoena the wine company, the what else she sells, stuff for your scalp and whatever she sells. They're going to subpoena records from those companies that had been paying her for ads.
So I found October the 28th, there's an article on Gossip that says that Cardi B took $9,000. So you know that they can only take a percentage when they garnish you. So what is that percentage?
I don't know what that is, but hold on, that's not true. That's not true. That it's only a percentage.
That's
but
not
if
true?
she took 9,000, that was from the bank account. See, okay, so let me explain with the garnishment, and y'all listen closely because I had a loved one get this wrong, and they got it really wrong. So when people say, like in Texas, they say, "Oh, and you can't garnish wages in Texas, or you can only garnish a percentage of wages." What people don't realize is once your money hits your bank account, it's no longer wages. They can take 100% of what is in your bank account. When they're talking about you can't garnish wages, what they mean is going to your company, who's going to your company and say, "Hey, before you give old girl her direct deposit, run me this amount of money." That is what is capped. But whatever is in your Chase, your whatever, they can take 100% of that. So that's why when you owe somebody a debt like that, don't ever let it get to the Chase in the first place. You better start cashing your checks at the cash check place, just like them illegals do. Pay that 1%.
Girl, it's a mess. That's a mess. That's a whole mess. And like I said, again, I don't try to be in nobody's pockets, but I know what I know. I mean, I don't know the exact dollar amount, but I know that, there's got to be something she's doing, like you just said, as far as how she's redirecting and changing up or whatever, because $3,000 a month, that's what she put on her paperwork.
Right.
It's got to be something she did that is going somewhere else, that is being redirected.
Mm-hmm. And Tracy Chappell made a good comment. She says she does garnishments daily in her job, and that in her state, the state doesn't let you take more than 45% unless YouTube isn't her primary income. Remember, that is different. That's if somebody is trying to get your money from your boss, from your job. But once that money already gets to your bank account, it's no longer a garnishment. That's seizing a bank account, right? Which is a different situation.
Right.
Ruby Brown said the
That
companies
makes
write paper
different.
checks now. Only if you make them. Only if you ask them. And
Yeah, you can still ask for it. Yeah, you can still ask for it. You can still have that option. Wow, that is a lot.
that is a lot, y'all. Woo, that was fun, though.
Now listen. Yes, it is. Now listen, there's 193 people that are in this chat right now. Some of you guys are from Girls That Legal. Welcome. And some of you are part of the tribe, and some of you are both. You've subscribed to Simone. So please, Simone, please make sure you are subscribed to both of us. And you guys go over there and watch some of those videos. Go see Simone do some of those background checks so she can get her watch hours.
Yes.
Get that channel
monetized. If you have anybody who needs one.
Monetized. Yes. She's been over there too much not to monetize. I tell you what, the next time I find me a man, you're going to do a background check on him for me. I promise you that, child.
Yeah,
I'm going to be doing my background check.
I got you. Well, thank you so much. I truly enjoyed it. I hope you guys have a wonderful Memorial weekend. My man just got home, so I got to tend to him.
That's right. And I'm there to tell him I say hello.
I sure will. And so I will see you all later. Y'all take care. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Right. And y'all just thank you. Y'all, he just dropped the link for Simone's channel. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Simone. Not put her money on a prepaid debit card. I'm not doing this with you. Then share it. She said she better put her money on a prepaid debit card, honey. All right. Well, let me get out of here. Now, I asked y'all if y'all wanted me to do a live review of Bell Collective, and it's 50-50. It's like 56 said yes and 43 said no, child. So I feel like y'all don't really want to see a live review of Bell Collective. Y'all say y'all didn't want, not Rush Card. That's the Rush Card. So I don't know if I'm going to come back. Tracy said yes, we do. Tracy, you one person. The people said no. The people said no. Well, 50-50 said no, I should say. It's barely more than 50, Tracy. It's barely more than 50. You want to live, little baby? Tracy said she want to live. Amber said, I'll watch, but I'll tune in. Okay, I see it. All right. So let me go watch Bell Collective, and I'll come back. It's 9 o'clock now. I guess I'll be back maybe by 10 o'clock because I got to watch it. And then we'll come back. All right, y'all. I will talk to y'all later. Mwah. I'll add my vote to the pile so that puts it at 85%. Look, hold on, 85%. Let me show y'all what I'm looking at. It don't say no 85% on my screen. Hold on. Let me go all the way out of YouTube and let me go back in and let me see what it says. Hold on. Maybe I was looking at an old result, child. Maybe I was looking at an old result. Hold on. Let me go back. Look. Child, I'm looking at 55-45. Look. It's a 55-45. I don't know where you get that 85% from, little baby. All right, y'all, but I'll come back. All right. Mwah. We'll talk about Bell Collective. I see y'all in about an hour. Okay? Okay. Uh-oh. Let me hit the button. Uh-oh. We might not get out of here because it might not let me out. Okay, here you go. What am I say? They act like they won't let me hit the button.